this video, I'll be using the following products. Links are in the description. Milliput has kindly provided these products for me to use in this video. It is a company based in the UK and produces this amazing epoxy putty that can be used for virtually anything. It's easy to use and easy to sculpt. It is waterproof and sets rock solid. It also comes in many different colors. If you want to learn more about this product, be sure to visit their website. I always make sure I paint my figures with Artesa's premium acrylic paints. Honestly guys, the quality of this paint is really good, so I suggest you check the links in the description to find out more and order some for yourself. I'll be using sculpting tools, paint brushes, lots of super glue, tons of time and lots of patience, and a glass of water. Now we're all set, we can start this project. Hello everyone, this is Marco and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while. I wanted to make a new head for my superposable Indoraptor. The issue I have with this figure is that the head sculpt isn't very film accurate at all. I mean, just look at that nose. It looks like it's got a beak or something. It's really super strange. Mattel did make a more accurate head sculpt for the Grab and Growl Indoraptor, but for some reason they didn't update this one. I already did this edit before, but I edited the pre-existing head without molding and casting a new one, which makes it more fragile, and I didn't put as much detail in as I wanted to. Also, I didn't make a video about it, so this is the right time to make a video. As you can see, here's a reference picture from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and yeah, look at that. You can see a massive difference on the top of the nose, well, and the length of the nose, and the cheek is massively different too. As you can see on my previous edit, I did change the teeth too to make them more sharp and more realistic. And look, the head that I did was a bit too wide compared to this render picture. So I decided to redo it, but I really want it to look like a legit toy that Mattel would have made. So I'm not going to go super realistic with it. I'm not going to give it super sharp teeth and a really good paint job or whatever. I just wanted to match what Mattel has produced, but with a more film accurate look. So I went on my copy of Jurassic World Evolution and took pictures and screenshots of every angle of the Indoraptor model to use as reference. As you can see here on the head, there is a seam line, so I'm gonna take this apart and see how the articulation works, and then see what we can do from there. I'm using a scalpel and a Stanley knife to gently cut in between the seam lines and pry it apart with a screwdriver. Earlier I mentioned that I want to mold and cast it, and that's because I want to replicate the exact feel of the plastic and rubber that this figure has. And I've got just the right materials to do that. As you can see, the head is attached with a ball joint, which slots inside the two halves of the head. On the tip of the snout, there is this rubber kind of mouth insert with all the teeth, and there's a hole for the articulation for the bottom jaw. It's all pretty simple and it's really easy to recreate, or just to mold and cast in general. Okay, so the next step is to use Milliput and sculpt, but also to shave off all the parts that, are in excess. So the big nose will have to be shaved off a little bit, and then covered a bit again with Milliput so I can resculpt all the scales on it. So I'm mixing some Milliput right now. This is a black version of it, which is awesome. All the links are in the description, obviously, as always. Here I am thoroughly mixing it, so it's ready for the next step. And here I am shaving off and cutting off the excess bits of the nose. I'm using the knife and then I'm going to sand it down a bit with some coarse sandpaper so it smooths it out a bit, but also leaves it coarse enough for the Milliput to safely stick properly to the surface. So once that's done, I grabbed the Milliput and gently covered the part that I sanded off. Just a very thin layer so I can sculpt all the scales and details in, so it blends in properly with the rest of the sculpt. I am sculpting using some cocktail sticks or toothpicks and this handmade scale making tool, which is really cool. I just used the tip of a little pipette, glued it on the end of a old paintbrush, without the brush bit, of course. And then, because of its circular shape, I can just push it into the material and it just makes the right shape for the scales. Okay, so once that part is sculpted, I modified the cheeks. I just added a little bit more material to make the cheeks a bit lower and a bit more round. And that's pretty much it. I just smoothed it out with water again and sculpted the detail back. And then I waited for it to set. It usually takes about 3 hours to completely set. And this is the sculpt all set. Now it's missing the teeth. So what I'm doing here is I'm cutting the original teeth off of the rubber insert and just gluing them on to the new sculpt. Easy, right? It's much easier like that than to make each individual tooth and stick it back in. Because these are the legit teeth that were on the toy, so that's a win in my book. So this is the top half of the head done. Now I inserted the bottom jaw and as you can see it doesn't really fit. It's got a massive underbite. So I am just shaving off the cheek parts to sort of match up the sculpt that we've done, and I'm shortening the jaw altogether. I'm doing that by cutting off the tip and then removing a section in between the tip of the jaw and the rest of it. And I'm gluing it back together. The next step is to add some Milliput on the bottom jaw so it matches the width of the cheeks. And then just sculpt the detail back. And that's pretty much it. Now the sculpt is done, it needs molding. Now I have done a molding tutorial in my previous videos when I'm making my Rubbersaur's T-Rex. So if you want a more in-depth video, go watch that one. So I'm just using this mold making silicone, pouring it onto the sculpt itself. So I've got a mold to make 1-to-1 replicas of my sculpt. Then I'm going to cast it with some hard flexible polyurethane rubber, which is a 2-part compound that once mixed together, it becomes rubbery. And this little black tub here is the pigment itself. And then for the hard plastic parts, I just used some polyurethane casting resin, which is basically known as fast cast, or also known as liquid plastic. It's called fast cast because it usually takes about 10 to 20 minutes to fully set. It's awesome. This is a test cast. As you can see, the top part is made of plastic, which is nice and solid and robust, and that's the hole for the bottom jaw to go in. The bottom jaw is made of rubber. Pretty cool, right? So then it's just a case of assembling it, putting it onto the original body. I just drilled a hole in my cast so I can pressure fit and glue the neck joint inside of my sculpt. And then I'm painting it with Arteza acrylic paints, of course. And this is it. The quills on the top of the head are made of rubber. The jaw is made of rubber too. And the rest of it is made of hard plastic, just like the original. It feels just like the real thing, but it's got a more film accurate look to it, which is amazing in my opinion. I think it looks much better. I'm really happy with how it came out. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you want to modify your Indoraptor like this, you can try it yourself, and I suggest you check all the links in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, sick merch is available on Redbubble. We have t-shirts, mugs, water bottles, and other cool stuff, but that's not all. On my Etsy store, you can find my rubber saws as well as signed prints. So what are you waiting for? Just go and click the links in the description. I would like to give a massive thank you to all of my Patreons. Seriously guys, your support really does mean the world to me, as it helps me do what I love for you. You help me buy materials, and most of all, you give me a helping hand with improving the quality of the content of my videos. Even if it's just a small donation, every little helps. If you like my videos, please press the like button. And you could consider subscribing. It's free. Oh, and don't forget to press the notification bell button, because you don't want to miss any of my new stuff, right? I'm gonna say bye now, because when you gotta go, you gotta go. I will see you in the next one.